Well, hello, all of you brides to be out there watching. Welcome back to our segment of the Virginia Bride Chat. I have with me today Annette Lindsay from I Do Weddings with Love. So, welcome, Annette.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being with us today. So, Annette, how did you end up entering the world as a floral designer? What
Okay, that's
what led into you being a wedding florist?
that was kind of funny. My daughter was actually in kindergarten and just wanted something to do. So I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and just walked into a floral shop. I'd always loved decorating and doing things like that. And the owner, Sandy, hired me, and I've been doing flowers ever since. So it was just kind of, I just kind of ended up into it. I've always worked for someone, but the last 4 years I've owned my own business and I absolutely love it. Love it.
That's great. So why just weddings and events?
Because it's more personal. A lot of times when I was working in the shops, we did the daily type arrangements. And I get, there's a need for that, but something about dealing with brides and their families and the couples themselves, to see the face when you present the bouquet and when it all comes together like a fairy tale type thing. It's all about people's dreams about how they want to see when they're getting married and fulfilling that. So it's been really a great adventure.
Oh yeah, well it's a happy day for everybody. So what kind of sets you, tell us what sets you apart from other wedding florists? What makes you unique and different?
Basically, what I think makes me a little bit different than other florists is that I work out of my home and I do one wedding per calendar day. I'm not one of those people that's always looking at my watch and trying to get to the next event. I give my client my full attention for that day. So that way, if something is needed to attend to, and I've done this before, throw tablecloths on tables and things like that. I just want my girls and my couples to be happy, to not stress about the day. And it's just a fulfillment that it's really hard to explain when it all comes together and you see those pictures come back and the thank yous come back. It's just been all worth it. Whereas in a daily grind, you're doing the same thing all the time, so this.
Right.
And what I do is I travel all throughout Virginia too. I don't keep myself into one area because Virginia is so unique in the sense that we have mountains and seashore and all that in between. And we go up to DC area. Each one of those areas are different types of bridal parties, that type of
Right.
thing. Whereas Charlottesville, they
Well,
have a lot of wineries, and things like that. DC is very historical. Virginia Beach is beachier. And then Williamsburg, where I have one of my locations, is very, vintage, and so I get to, do all kinds of different things.
oh, absolutely. Virginia is definitely well rounded in, what we have in the different areas, just like you're saying. And, I think it is very important for people to understand that that is just so, I think, astounding and, just wonderful that you only do one wedding. And I think that's very important to point out because that makes a huge difference, like you said, when you don't have a vendor rushing around because they have to get to the next event. So I think, people that are listening to this, that's something you definitely want to consider. So, what's your favorite item to design?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Between the sweetheart table and the actual ceremony, I love doing things that are unique and different. Pinterest I have a love-hate relationship with Pinterest because a lot of times brides look at that and want that, but don't realize how much that entails. So I try to work with my brides and my couples to make sure that we achieve somewhat that look, if not that look, some way or another. So, if you've been dreaming about having that Cinderella wedding, then let's make it so it's Cinderella-like, those kind of things. And we can do that achieving different scenes. So to me, when you're doing the ceremony part, walking down that aisle and feeling that feel, and then the sweetheart table is just so important because they're there and pictures are taken all night long, and them sitting at their table. And I always try to incorporate the bridal bouquet into it, because somehow, some way, we've got to keep photographing that beautiful piece. As far as it, most people love the bridal bouquet the best. I love it, but I want it to be a part of. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, if a couple contacts you, what's the process then that they go through with consulting with you?
Basically, most people will go on my website. There is a link there for a form, a consultation form, which gives me the background of the colors, the numbers, if you have a favorite flower, the theme that you're looking for, those kind of things. So that way we can get the ball rolling. Then generally what I do is I start out with just some ideas, throw them out there, and then we chat. At that point, then we chat and firm down things. Basically, because I do the one wedding per day, I ask for a retainer, and then you book me for that date. And that's what the retainer is, which is taken off your end product. So it's not like you're paying just for me, but I wanted to make sure that I always gave my clients first refusal, number one. If they've contacted me, I try to be fair about everything. And we commit to each other, and I am so laid back when it comes to, you can do as many changes as you want to your wedding up until I place the order for the flowers. And then, as far as it goes, go on Pinterest and find those things that you want, and let's see if we can create it. It's pretty easy.
Well, that's another important point to keep in mind for those listening is if you're interested in booking Annette, you do need to go forward, because as she mentioned already, she only does one wedding. So as soon as you make that decision, you need to get her, get your wedding confirmed, because she does only have a certain amount of dates, obviously, to book you and have your wedding on the books. And at the end of this video, we will have all of Annette's contact information, and you can also find her on Virginia Bride's website as well, under Wedding Florists, under our wedding services page for all regions of Virginia. Well, leading into, you mentioned about right up until purchasing the flowers, that's my next question. Where do you get your flowers?
Basically all over the world. I've gone to the Netherlands actually in person and seen some of the.
Wow.
Oh, yes. My daughter is actually engaged to a person over in the Netherlands, and I was blessed that I got to go to the Tulip Festival over there and actually met where the royal queen gets her flowers. So,
amazing.
Oh, yes. Yes. So I got to tour some of the flower plants over there, and it was breathtaking. It was a life experience. It just furthered my passion for flowers. So I go to the Netherlands sometimes, I go South America, and I try really hard to get from California, Oregon, those kind of places too, because I try to keep it in America. but in saying that, we don't grow everything here. So
Right.
sometimes you have to utilize other places. So
Oh, sure. So when are the designs actually constructed? Take us a little bit through that.
actually, I purchase your flowers about 30 days prior to. That gives me some time that if something like, say, white roses are not available in California, I have time to go to South America to find white roses. Not that that ever happens, but that gives me some backup time as far as that goes. They arrive 2 days prior to your ceremony. I always construct the day before the ceremony. I want the flowers as fresh as can be. When I arrive to the venue, I usually show up about 2.5 hours, 2 hours prior to. And first thing I do is deliver right to the bridal party. So that way the pictures can start with the photographers and things like that. Then if it's a hot day, we then set up reception. If it's not too bad, then I go straight out to ceremony and set up ceremony and then reception. Sometimes I reverse that because of the heat. So I want the flowers to look as beautiful as they are. So as far as it goes, that alters sometimes, but I never construct anything prior to the day before a ceremony.
Yeah, I think that's very important, again, for people to understand, because you don't want the flowers made too far ahead because they could wilt and dry out and not look great. And I know that's one of the things that Annette takes pride on. So walk us through like a typical wedding day for you. What goes on behind the scenes?
It's pretty much, we show up, like I said, about 2 to 2.5 hours prior to. We set up, I check in. I always encourage people to have a planner. So that way I have a point of contact to as far as going to. I try really hard not to make too much contact with the bride because it's their day. As far as it goes, you have employed me to do something, and I don't want to be a part of your day. I want to be an addition to your day. So as far as it goes, that's why I always encourage people to have a planner. I stay until I make sure that everything is as perfect as I can make it. Nothing is perfect, as far as life goes. But as far as I'm concerned, I stay until I feel that if it were my daughter getting married, this is the way I would do it. So I treat everyone as if they were family to me. I take extreme pride into walking away from things and knowing that I did the best I could.
That's great. Well, right now we're going to take a quick break. And I just want to remind all of our viewers who are watching us right now that you can go to Virginia Bride's website to become a premium member. If you subscribe to Virginia Bride, you're going to get access, of course, to our Virginia Bride wedding channel that you're watching right now. Every week we have different wedding professionals on that we interview. You can see what's trending in design, wedding gowns, decor, and more. If you sign up, what you're going to get when you go to our Become a Premium Member page, you click the subscribe, and that'll take you to where you choose which subscription you want. But your premium subscription comes with a free copy of Virginia Bride magazine that's mailed out to you, the current issue. You're automatically entered into exciting giveaways that we do each month, and there's some amazing giveaways we have. This month, it is a custom design jean jacket with bride on the back by That's My Dress Bridal. But we have lots of different giveaways, including trips, even chef meals to go delivered right to your home, spa packages, hair and makeup, all kinds of amazing things. You'll also get a free Virginia Bride t-shirt that says I'm a Virginia Bride. And you can also send your questions, specific wedding questions, directly to us, and one of our experts will answer you directly. So be sure that you pop on over to vabridemagazine.com to sign up to become a premium member soon. All right, and now back with Annette from I Do Weddings with Love. How has, of course, everything that has affected our whole country the last year, obviously, has been COVID, especially with to do with weddings, obviously. So, how has COVID affected your business? How have you dealt with that?
COVID obviously has affected everyone, and the wedding parties are smaller, and the venues have undergone more stringent rules and things like that. As far as me as a florist, I do a lot of the same things that I would do normally, but just a little bit over compensating for some things. I always clean everything. We wear masks, we wear gloves on occasions that I know that we are around large groups of people. The flowers come in. I make sure that the flowers are generally as clean as can be as far as that goes and processed. Other than that, we go on as normal. I realize that it's affected the day, but my job to defeat COVID, in a sense, is to make sure that we give you the day that you always wanted. So to me, it's about making sure that everything is as gorgeous as we can make it. I don't want you to think about COVID while you're getting married and saying I do. I want you to remember the gorgeousness of the day, not the things that we had to do. So as far as it goes, I make sure that we on our end do everything that we can to keep you as safe as possible and your guests as safe. I'm usually in and out prior to ceremony. So, as far as it goes, I don't come into contact with a lot of people, but I make sure that on my end, I'm doing everything I can.
That's great. That is wonderful to know. Well, how do you keep up with trends in the wedding industry? I think we have an issue going on where we have lost Annette. She seems to have frozen. We'll just give it a minute and hopefully that'll come back on. I think we might have lost the connection with Annette. So we're going to conclude right now with this segment of the Virginia Bride Chat Channel. It was a pleasure having Annette with I Do Weddings with Love on. The last question that I was getting ready to ask her was how she kept up with the trends in the wedding industry. And I can tell our listeners and viewers right now that Annette's work has been featured in Virginia Bride Magazine. She has participated in many different styled shoots with leading wedding experts in the industry here in Virginia as well as in DC. All of those wedding professionals are right on top of all of the top trends that are going on in the wedding industry. They showcase those trends in these styled shoots. And as I've mentioned, we have had several of Annette's work in styled shoots featured in the print issue of Virginia Bride, as well as on our blog. So everybody remember to check back in, keep watching our Virginia Bride Chat channel. We have more guests coming up in the next few weeks. And as well as always be checking our blog every day for different features. Every Thursday is our inspiration style features on Virginia Bride's blog. And of course, you can find us on VA Bride Magazine com. And right now we're going to take a look at some of Annette's work. We're going to showcase some gorgeous photos for everyone to enjoy. Again, thanks for being with us here today with this segment of Virginia Bride's Chat channel.